summer. That's right, Sierra. He says that's assuming at least 70% of Americans get vaccinated. That could be possible with 100 million more doses of the Pfizer vaccine set to be distributed. The federal government announced the deal to buy those doses today.
Officials say that means most Americans who want to be can be vaccinated in the next 6 months. Meanwhile, many of us are waiting on a possible stimulus check after President Trump says he was refusing to sign the COVID relief bill until at least $2,000 goes to every American.
Democrats have scheduled a vote for tomorrow on raising the stimulus checks. Taking a look now at new COVID cases in Georgia and South Carolina. You can see the number of new cases for each state on your screen. That's the second most cases in a day for South Carolina and the fifth most for Georgia. Today, 22% of people tested in South Carolina were positive. About 15% in Georgia were positive. 26,000 people have now been vaccinated in Georgia.
We might have some good news here at home. If you look at this graph, it appears our COVID hospitalizations are starting to level off. University Hospital has stayed steady at 116 the past few days. Doctors Hospital also appearing to flatten out, and AU Health down the past couple of days too. AU Health is working to hopefully cut down on those hospitalizations even more with the new clinic that opened today.
The treatment they're using is a similar antibody cocktail to the one President Trump received when he came down with the virus. Brady Trapnell explains why health officials believe it's a breakthrough.
Potentially life-saving treatment outside the walls of the hospital. A breakthrough before Christmas.
It feels like with the vaccine and with this therapy that we're able to switch from playing defense with this virus to playing offense.
AU describes the drug as a kind of immediate vaccine. Dr. Kuhl says several high-risk patients received the IV antibodies today.
The data is suggesting that this can significantly reduce the requirement for hospitalization in those at-risk patients.
But it's time-consuming. It takes an hour of prep, an hour of treatment, and an hour of observation. AU says treating people here at the Moore Clinic keeps valuable ER beds open.
Tying up an emergency department bed for 3 hours is not ideal.
Yet they're expecting high demand. It's one of the first outpatient clinics offering the drug in the state, and AU expects most insurance providers to cover it.
This therapy has been used and appears to be incredibly safe with a very, very low incidence of any side effects or reactions.
Health officials hope high-risk patients over the age of 55 with symptoms are proactive and ask their doctor for a referral. They're even giving physicians a hotline number for quick scheduling. Local hospitals are also vaccinating as quick as they can. Both AU and doctors got their first shipments of the Moderna vaccine today.
We've been vaccinating people so quickly that we haven't had major storage concerns.
AU is hopeful to start vaccinating the initial group of essential workers and those over 75 in January. Good news, as Christmas looms with the potential of another spike in cases. Reporting in Augusta, Brady Trapnell on your side.
On top of that new treatment, AU Health and Doctors Hospital both got their first shipments of the Moderna vaccine today.
Both of them and University Hospital have also gotten several shipments of the Pfizer vaccine, but nurses tell us today all of it will be for nothing if people do not take the vaccine once it's available to everyone.
I felt completely normal other than arm soreness.
And I didn't have any other symptoms but just soreness in my arm.
Two nurses, same message. Vaccination must soon be the priority for our local community.
COVID is scary. It's acting like an autoimmune disease and causing like long-term side effects, not just like killing people, but causing long-term organ damage. And that's scarier to me than, this vaccine and taking it.
Cindy is an ER nurse at AU Health. She's watched some of the worst cases unfold. Similar story for Sinitra.
Patients literally dying on the vent and family can't come.
The nursing student is working the COVID ICU now because hospitalizations have spiked since Thanksgiving.
I try not to take it home with me, but sometimes you can't help but to think about your patients and if they're going to be there the next day or next week when you come.
Georgia officials saying just yesterday the vaccine won't end the pandemic, vaccinations will. These two nurses call the need to get that idea across an urgent one.
We generally know biology of the body and what kind of happens with vaccines, and they all kind of act similarly.
She echoes what local experts have reminded us. The vaccine space is not something brand new. It's made of messenger RNA, and it's been used in treatments for decades. With the Peach and Palmetto states shattering its own COVID case records, and Christmas plus New Year's expected to cause another rise, frontline workers who spend more time at the hospital than home, like Sydney and Shanitra, urge the public to get vaccinated once it's widely available.
It was like any other shot that I've gotten.
Not only just to protect yourself, but to protect other people who are around you.
And if you're still looking to get tested before seeing family for Christmas, you can still go to AU Health to do that. They're open tomorrow on Christmas Eve from 9 to 5:30, but they're closed on Christmas and New Year's Day. The USC Aiken Convocation Center won't be open again until next week. All of this testing info is on WRDW.com.
A live look now.
Accused porch pirates arrested just days before Christmas. Deputies in Columbia County pulled over the car Cesar Guerrero and Santina Walker were driving. Deputies looked in the trunk and found multiple items still in their boxes. The suspects later admitted to taking them while handing out political flyers in Columbia County. They face 4 theft charges, and Guerrero faces felony obstruction after allegedly punching a deputy trying to arrest him.
A home break-in, Christmas presents stolen, and a man found dead in the woods nearby. All of this happening early this morning at a home on Atomic Road in Aiken County. The homeowner tells deputies he came home and saw Christmas gifts were missing. He heard footsteps outside and saw 3 men get into a dark Buick sedan and speed off. A 4th man was seen running toward the woods. After a search, 19-year-old Ahmad Darnes was found dead, shot in the hand. Deputies have not said who shot him. They're still looking for the other 3 suspects, and no detailed descriptions have been given.
2 personal care home owners now charged with murder after 2 deaths at their Augusta facility. Celesta and Sammy Lissaby are both charged with 2 counts of murder. They're the owners of the 3 First Love personal care homes in Augusta. Celeste Springer is live outside the one on Wrightsboro Road. 2 of their residents died. Celeste, what can you tell us?
It's been 2 months since 2 women were found in the house behind me, and since then we've just been waiting on the autopsy report, which came back yesterday showing us that it's been deemed homicide. Just hours after that news broke, the Lisenbys were arrested and charged with murder.
Really putting our trust in these care homes, and for this to happen, it has just really opened my eyes.
Melissa LaEllen's mom was inside here at First Love Personal Care Home on Wrightsboro Road when the district attorney's office tells us temperatures topped 130 degrees on October 18th. Her mom made it out alive, but 2 others weren't so lucky. The GBI says 2 women inside died of prolonged exposure to high temperatures. The district attorney's office tells us they believe the prolonged exposure was around 36 to 48 hours. The DA says at some point an employee alerted the owners of the dangerously high temperatures inside.
There is no excuse to have geriatric patients who are sick, who cannot provide for themselves, or dependent upon that staff for all activities of daily living.
Attorney Mike Prieto is representing the family of one of the victims in a civil suit. I asked him how often he sees care home owners face murder charges.
I've seen it only a few other times throughout my career.
He says it all comes down to resources.
The problem is that law enforcement does not receive enough training to determine whether or not something that could be civil in nature also constitutes a violation of the Elder Justice Act.
And to see criminal charges come to light?
One thing would be justice, and just the fact that these owners are not able to hurt anyone else.
And so the district attorney's office tells me they're able to pursue charges like this more than other DAs statewide, all because of the CAVE task force. They actually have another personal care homeowner facing murder charges in a completely separate case, as well as other owners across our area that are pending indictments.
All right, thanks, Celeste, so much for that update. More than 3,700 voters. The board voted today 3-1 to reject that challenge.
There is less money coming into these red kettles this holiday season. Like so many nonprofits, the Salvation Army is getting more requests for help and fewer donations. Because of the pandemic, they say fewer volunteers are ringing bells, fewer shoppers carrying cash, and fewer people walking by stores where red kettles are set up. We spoke to one of the leaders at Augusta Salvation Army who says people don't realize how far this money stretches.
This actually provides all the bed space in our center for 135,000 meals. 47 families have gone from being homeless to being permanently housed now because of your support of the Salvation Army. And one of the biggest fundraisers of the year is our kettle program, and that helped us in Christmas and all the way throughout the rest of the year.
To help get more donations, they're going online. You can donate on their website or use Apple and Google Pay at their red kettles.
If there's an emergency, you have to take someone to the hospital. Keep in mind there's one care center that will not have emergency services pretty soon. That's the University Hospital in Somerville, the one on Wrightsboro Road. Starting next Wednesday, December 30th, that location will no longer have an emergency department. It will become a prompt care. To be clear, the University Hospital main campus on Walton Way will still have emergency services.
Churches are getting ready for Christmas Eve services. Some will even be outside for COVID precautions. But since we're expecting some rain, some churches are having their services tonight. Kennedy Harris is live for us at Evans Town Center Park for one happening right now. How's it looking out there, Kennedy?
Yeah, Zaina, this program is just getting started. You can see a lot of people are here right now. And I spoke to the pastor of Warren Baptist Church earlier, and he said closing the church doors in March was one of the hardest things he's ever had to do. But he knew that the whole congregation couldn't gather in the church for Christmas, so instead they moved it outside. And he said he expects about 1,500 people to show up. And as you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds of people out here. And you can see the crowd is spaced out. Each family is in their own boxes. Masks are recommended, and they do have some available for people as well. And this program is still continuing. And then tonight at 11, we'll look at some of the challenges that churches have had to face during this pandemic.
Awesome, Kennedy. Thanks so much for that. And we're going to look forward to hearing your story tonight at 11.
We have some cold air moving in behind the rain moving through to break.
Plus, we've got some feel-good news from here on out, including a little girl giving the gift of Chick-fil-A, plus some folks giving back. 60 seconds until some Christmas feel-goods.
Make our site glow.
And here's a good one. They call this one the Valley Glow Light Show. There's definitely a blue theme on this one. These lights are on Augusta Road in Warrenville. Wow, looks pretty neat out there. I can only imagine how long it took to put all those lights up.
Pretty cool, but okay, y'all, this may be one of our favorite stories of the day. This little girl in the photo is a 7-year-old Riley. She came up with the idea to save all of her Chick-fil-A points. She didn't buy herself anything. Instead, she saved those points to buy sandwiches for Columbia County deputies.
So when she went to Chick-fil-A with the idea, they not only doubled her order for free, but turned the sandwiches into full meals. So here Riley is delivering the meals to deputies. How sweet is this? And she didn't even take anything for herself.
That is so sweet. Now, Riley, your family, if you're watching this, please contact us. We would love to interview y'all. This is an amazing story.
I know, right? How sweet. I love it.
Right.
Normally, hearing those blue lights isn't a good thing, but today it was for something nice. These Wadley police officers were helping Santa out today. They've been collecting toys and games for several days and got to give the good news to some kids.
The halls of the Children's Hospital will be a little brighter this Christmas. That's thanks to the Zayday Foundation. They dropped off all of these toys and gifts for the kids inside. Zayday is named after Zayden Wright. He died a few years ago. Zayden was known for his giving spirit. His loved ones say that's their goal with this donation, to embody Zayden.
People that we didn't even know also donated because of the love that our son had is continuing to carry on through people. So we see the love of donations, toys for the hospital, Children's Hospital.
And that really makes our hearts smile. We're so glad they got to honor Zayden and help some other families.
A lot of giving this year for sure. Even the ballpark is in the Christmas spirit, and this is SRP Park after dark, all decked out in red and lit up in lights. How neat is that to see? And Riley, you know, we've been talking about the weather and how great today was, and we have to brace ourselves ourselves for tomorrow because we're expecting rain and it's just going to be really cold. What else do we
Unfortunately
need to know?
so. Yeah, unfortunately so, because the last couple of days have been perfect for us.
I'm here outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for some flag football highlights. Plus, we've got college bowl games and basketball coming up after the break.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Wrdw.
The Greenbrier flag football team has made it all the way here to Atlanta for a spot in the state championship. They played just outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium on the Home Depot backyard against Portal from Bullitt County. The seniors told us this week the buzz around school was electric, and you could tell just by the number of people that showed up as the Pack looked for their first state championship appearance in just their first season. Now check out this sequence right before the half. Portal with the ball trying to score. They throw deep, and it's going to be intercepted by Greenbrier. So now they've got a chance to do something before the half. But on the very next play, Greenbrier overthrows the receiver, and it's Portal coming up with the pick. Both teams trying to break the tie before halftime. On the very next play, Portal with a nice throw and catch to get the scoring started, and they led 6-0 at the half. In the second, Portal came out firing. They go deep on their first possession. The ball gets tipped and is caught by Portal. Great concentration, and she nearly gets into the end zone but comes up just short. A few plays later, they get in, rushing from a yard out to go up 12-0. Greenbrier wouldn't go away, though, as they go deep with 3 minutes left to cut into that lead. But it was too little too late as Portal wins 12-6, ending Greenbrier's season. College football bowl season is